Geraint here, and Graham's checked in. Now, can I say I haven't been able to catch up with Graham since his illustrious award-receiving ceremony. So I'm just very keen to see, where have you gone? What's happening?
Hey everyone, how are you?
Yeah,
we're actually just out for a little team dinner. We all just jumped out of the cab in the city, so we're just going out for a little team celebration. We haven't had a chance to celebrate from the awards yet, so everyone's about to have a nice night out on the town. But yeah, it's been amazing. I mean, you came along and joined us with Emma, and
yes.
But it was an amazing night, amazing day.
And so yeah, it was fantastic seeing you win that award. But I noticed that you've switched your campaign off.
Mate, we didn't have a choice, and that's why on the way into dinner, I thought I'll quickly jump in and say good day to everybody and just share with them, like, persevere, because where we're at now, Mark, as you know, we refined and refined and refined because I couldn't handle what I refer to as an inquiry. It's not even a lead tsunami, it's an appointment tsunami.
Yeah.
And it got to the point where I just couldn't handle it. So we got our borrowers to a point of completing a fact find, pretty much, as you know. You helped me design it. And even then, they're still filling out the bloody fact find and doing all the pre-work for me. And I still had to turn it off because I had too many bloody people. I mean, you know yourself, Mark, you've shared some of those diaries before where, I'm offering that 30-minute Zoom from 8 a.m. through to 8 p.m. and I end up with bloody 16 Zooms or, 20 Zooms in the day, and I don't know what to do with myself.
So what are you going to do? Where to now?
Oh, mate, I'm going to have to train some more staff. We're just going through a talent and recruitment session now. We just did a 10-day training event in Queensland for a new office I've opened there, and we're just finishing a 2-week, 10-day training session in Sydney. And I've just put on about 18 new brokers.
Wow.
Because I just can't cope with it at the moment. But I'm not going to stop it. I've turned it off intermittently while I train these people. But the idea is to turn it back on with 18 or 20 of me and go full steam ahead and scale.
Wow, you'll become quite a corporation very sure. Well, you are now.
Yeah, it could be a mistake. Well, we are, but yeah, could be a mistake, could be a great thing. We'll see how we go. Stay tuned, everybody.
Do you know what's amazing? I look at what you're doing, and I think to myself, no one can catch you. Do you know what I mean?
I mean, as far as the ongoing service and value proposition,
sure.
No, nobody can. The only close competitor is my budget, and we shit all over them respectfully and disrespectfully. No one has that value proposition. And as you and I have identified to a lot of people that reach out to me, Mark, we had a very good value proposition and a very good service offering prior to you and I engaging. And then we did a lot of bloody hard work together to even improve that and refine it from there. It's not a magic wand. You've got to do the push-ups if you want the big chest, or you've got to run on the treadmill if you want to lose the weight. So, it wasn't just a natural evolution, but we had a very good offering before we even started.
Yeah, got it. So tell me, after you switched the campaign off, did you still get more appointments coming through because of the email sequence?
Yeah, so we're still getting people come through, and we're also still getting an abundance of people actually emailing us. I've got an email I'll actually share with you on the group, Mark, where people are saying, hey, multiple. I had one yesterday saying, my friend told me that, they sat through your webinar and it was life-changing. I'm just wondering how I access it. And I've said, look, due to overwhelming inquiry, I've turned it off, but you can buy my book on Amazon or you can have a free session with me here, watch your details. And they've said, oh, well, I'd really like to watch the webinar or buy the book. I said, well, look, if you buy the book off me now in this email directly, I'll knock $5 off it and I'll give you a free Zoom session, which I've done. So, I mean, I've turned that off for a while now, Mark, because I couldn't keep up. And I'm still getting tell people about the webinar and the content and the quality. And they're still reaching out to us on our info address on email saying, hey, where do I access your webinar? So I'm probably your biggest raving fan. I'm a cult-like following because it's worked well beyond my wildest expectations. And if I go back to saying, send me a quote or do this, or you're like, mate, I'm too busy for that bullshit. You either want to do business with me or you don't.
Yeah.
And I went, this is my...
I just jump in because people watching this won't get what you're talking about. You want to give a bit of background to that?
Yeah, go on, you can.
No, you
Or
can.
yeah,
You
so
can.
I guess when I reached out to Mark saying, back when you were doing more of the done for you, and said, look, I'm a fat, lazy prick. I said, I'm a hard worker, but I want it all done for me on a silver platter. And mate, what's the story? And I poked and prodded and sussed you out and ripped you apart because I'd been done by so many lead providers in the past. I should have just bought a pet store for leads. And, the old saying, if you want a lead, go to a pet store. But so, to get appointments, and I really was a suck and see process with you. And what I valued at the end of the day was a no bullshit, no nonsense approach, much like myself. I said, well, send me a quote so I can have a chat to the wife. He said, Matt, I don't do quotes. You either do business with me and back me or you don't. And I went, yeah, done. All right, send me an invoice. We're on. Let's rock and roll.
And to your credit, you paid it, which was really
absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, that's the way you've got to do. That's the way you've got to be. I think in business is defining your parameters. This is the way we do it. Because every time you try and adjust what you know works, you invariably come unstuck.
That's right. That's right.
It's common. It's common.
So I won't waste everyone's time, but I just really wanted to jump in and say to everyone, stick with it. Stick with it. And I will say to people, don't think that a niche is a niche. I know, Mark, you've heard me hammer people about this before. I say to people, first home buyers isn't a niche. A first home buyer with no deposit is a niche.
Yeah.
You got to be careful that you're not targeting market segments, which is 25% of a pie or 20% of a pie. That's not a niche. It's just a market segment. So I think that's important for people and a couple of people that I talk to in the group frequently to make sure that they're very, very clear on what they're targeting, or they target a mass market approach with a blanket like I have, but you make sure that your offering is suitable to the mass market.
Got it. Great piece of advice. One thing before you go, I see that you're on stage with Grant Cardone and Gary V in the next few weeks.
Yeah, so off the back of what we've been doing, you'll see an announcement on my socials. Everyone probably follow, a lot of us follow anyway. That's public tonight. It's on the NAC website, and I'm sharing it tonight for an announcement. So I'm on the Global National Achievers Congress for 2019 through Success Resources. So I've got Grant Cardone, Gary V, Kerwin Ray, Jules Lund, Elena Cardone, some of entrepreneurial royalty really in the world. And my chubby little ass on stage telling people how to pay their mortgages off quicker.
Isn't that fantastic? Like really from the position you've come from to where you are today, it's a real credit to you.
But it's absolutely, I'm still pinching myself, but couldn't have done it without you. So I really appreciate it. Hence why we had, you guys along to the awards. And I just said, everyone, stick with it, do the hard yards, because the old saying that, the extra mile is quite an interesting place because there's no traffic on the extra mile because no one goes there.
That's so true.
Honestly, there is no competition at the top and there's no traffic at the extra mile. Put in the hard, and you told me this from day one, Mark, when I'm sitting there for hours recording stuff. You go, mate, trust me, just bear with it because none of your competitors will bother to do it.
Yeah.
And it is so fucking, sorry, everyone, it's so fucking true. Nobody else will bother to do it. They just couldn't be asked. And they sit there and whinge and whine about where they get leads. And I keep telling them they're in the pet shop, but there is no traffic on the extra mile and there is no competition once you do the hard yards.
It's so true.
I just wanted to jump on here so everyone just stick with it, because I'm at a point where I've had to turn it off and recruit before I can turn it back on.
That's fabulous.
And like, to me, that's a dreamy situation that a year ago when I first spoke to Mark, give me a quote, to today, turning it off and recruiting and chasing talent is just light years apart of where we were.
It's amazing. And look, you'd be pleased to know Anthea, who's on the call, I think had 8 or 9 appointments last week. Is that right, Anthea?
Correct. Yeah, that's correct. Yeah.
That's just mad.
What a cracker. Well done.
Yeah. So, all right, enjoy your dinner. I'm blissfully envious, I have to say. I'd like to be there with you, but someone's got to keep the shop going.
Absolutely. See you guys. All the best. Stick with it and good luck.
All right. Cheers.
See you guys.